Guys, my name is Mark and today I will talk about the x-raypad AQUA Control Plus in the new rough microcontroller version called Black Galaxy Gaming Mousepad. Let's go! So as I said already, we are talking about this new AQUA Control Pad, and we will compare it with the white AQUA Control and the old black AQUA Control Pad. I have them here, and also we make a short comparison to the HiHat also in this video, to basically all HiHat also versions. The new one, the V2, not the old one where the coating rubs off. Yeah, let's start. What happens? We all know the hype about AQUA Control Pads. You may know my reviews of, or my comparison video of the black and white AQUA Control Plus, and you maybe know my video where I compare the white AQUA Control Plus to the Equate, the white one, and to the black one, which basically was like one thing I really wanted to do, because in my opinion x-raypad is doing mouse pads with a great value and they have like a place on the market, in my opinion, which is very good for now, which they need to build up, because most people basically need to order in China. And x-raypad is a manufacturer and a seller in one. You also can buy their bulk, you can buy thousands of pads. So they basically produce every pad their own. They make their own research and development, so that's why they have a lot new pads coming, and they're all their pads basically evolving from time to time by print or by way it's made, by getting non-coated or whatever. So basically one thing I also like is that x-raypad is, in my opinion, one of the most transparent pad producers. In general, they tell you how they make the rubber, they tell you which pads are coated, which is rough, which is rougher, based on the colors and the structures they have, all the stuff. They do a lot of work for the community, and you guys can always see it on Twitter or on their webpage, or if you just ask them, they briefly reply. And now there was the point where they just bring out this new pad, where they also say it's a non-coated Amazon fabric rough microcontrol version, which basically Amazon fabric microcontrol versions were the old black and the old white 2. They were both different. The white one was like the softest version of all AQUA Control Plus pads. Basically it feels like it's a little bit soapy at one point when you aim, because the softness, which is in my opinion, or what I think, a result out of how the white is made, or how it got white, or how the fiber, the fiber they use is made. So the production of the pad and of the fiber they use for the Amundsen stitching is different, way different to the black one. Because as I said already, I think it's because they need to make it white, and this makes it softer. It's like when you whiten hairs or make them blonde, hairs also getting softer, or yeah, you make damage to the hairs. And basically I think the damaging of the synthetic fabric they use here just got damaged, or yeah, get it damaged by production, by making it white, and that's why it's a little bit softer, but also feels like a little bit soapy when you aim. It's like when you do the microcontrols, it always feels like it's not jiggling, like it's a little bit not really there where you want it, and like it really gets a little bit off. I explained it already when I compare Equate to AQUA Control Plus White, where I say that the Equate, because of the more of the tighter weaving, is more a control pad. It's really more a control pad, not a microcontrol pad, than the AQUA Control. That's why I was enjoying it more, because the soapiness, this little glitchy on the end of your flick or whatever, was not there. But that's, I think, basically is really a fault of how it got white, the pad, the AQUA Control. So when we compare these two pads, you really can feel that the white one is way softer, and this one is rougher with a different microcontrol. And if you watched the black to white comparison, you already know that the black non-coated is very, very rough, and was for me like a no-go cause just of the roughness. So, but when we compare the new AQUA control, the new version with the old black version, you also feel, it feels like on the black one, the roughness is like deeper. It feels like the Amundsen fabric, or the way it's weaving, it's like stands a little bit, only real, like, I don't know, a micromillimeter, whatever. But you can basically feel it with different mouse. You can feel it with the Zeiss Rail, with the Zaunkönig, and with the HATI-S wireless, that it feels like a little bit rougher than the new Galaxy, because it feels like it's a little bit deeper. But I can't clearly say if it's really that point, or if it's really what I feel, or is it maybe just the same. I can't tell you, because there's no way they explain this here. They just say that it's a non-coded rough microcontroller version, which basically the black is in general 2. But here on the new one, on the Galaxy, on the black Galaxy, I have the feeling that, as I said, the weaving is a little bit shorter, but it's not that super rough because of the little shortness, or maybe this happens while they bring on the graphic. It's like, I think here it's the graphic gets rolled on, and I think it's an hot roll on of the graphic. So basically they have the graphic on a roll, and then they move the roll over the pad. That's what I think how it's made. I can't tell you exactly how it's made, because x-raypad is not sharing this to public, and it's not clear to see how it's made or which way. But basically, because of the rolling of the pad, maybe it changes the way the Amundsen fabric is behaving on the pad a little bit. But that's very good in my opinion. Because here, if I compare the old black to the new black with the graphic, the microcontrol is way smoother. I feel the microcontrol way more. I play normally with my main mouse, with the Zaunkönig, the new one, the M2K. And when you are on this pad, it's like the carbon fiber gives your fingers a very good response of where you are on the pad and how the structure is feeling. I can do this here on the black too, but the black feels a very tiny one bit faster, but also gives me not that much response. So if I would compare the old black to the new black Galaxy, I would say that the new black Galaxy is just a little bit slower, not much, but the microcontrol feeling you have in your fingers over your mouse is way higher. That brings me to a point where I just ask myself, why? What happens here? And I think it's just that I think they're still evolving, and when I watch these microstructures, they look the same. But I think they changed a little bit in the processing, or in how they produce this. One thing they also changed is the stitching. The old stitching you can see is very rough, and the new one is very tight. Or also can see it on the back side. The stitching is still not complete, even with the pad, but on the old one, because of the roughness or the looseness of the stitching of the edges, the stitching edges, the edge was like higher. Here on the new one, the edge feels smaller, and it's not that broad like on the old one. So when you lay it here and you have your arm on it the whole time, it's totally okay. You will not notice that there is an edge, to be honest. Feels very good. Also, it still has the old school rubber back like you know it. It's always the same here. It's laying on my desk very good. There's no problem if you compare it. The hardness, it's something, when you compare it with Artisan pads, it's something between soft and mid by hardness. It's a little bit harder than a soft pad, but it's way softer than the mid pad. And now I come to the one thing I think a lot of you people want to know from me. I compare it to other hybrid pads, but because basically for me what it is a hybrid pad. First, let's start with the Odin. The Odin hybrid pad is like, it's okayish, but it's too rough for me. Sometimes I felt it's even rougher than the old black AQUA Control Plus, and for that the price is yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. I would always stick with the X-ray pads because the possibility of changing the sizes and customize them is way bigger than on Odin, so I would stick with AQUA Control. And when I compare the new one with the Odin, I would say by far that the new Black Galaxy AQUA Control Plus is the way better microcontrol pad. Also, if I compare to Fnatic Dash, the Dash is a little bit thicker, a little bit softer in total, so when you rest your arm on it. So when you have a desk mat, the comfort is way higher on the Dash, and the Dash is like has a little bit less microcontrol and is a little bit more a glider pad in my opinion. So the Dash feels like more like better for tracking and has less microcontrol than this one. But price, as we all know, on the Fnatic Dash is compared to the AQUA Control pads, it's very high. And I think an XD pad is nearly 70 euro. And here, if you would have this size, it's, I don't know, it's like 30 or 35 euro. So if they come with new sizes here, they only have 3 sizes right now. And it's like, the biggest one is 90 by 40, but I still have the 50 by 50 here. If they will come bigger, the 90 by 40 is around 25 euro, and I think the bigger ones will be around 30 euros, so 35 max. So you will have to pay the half of an XD from Fnatic. That's also very good, and you have way more microcontrol here. And then we come to this comparison with this HiHat Otsu. That's the new HiHat Otsu. That's the mid version. Not the mid version, that's the soft version. I have the mid version here too. I played them too. When I was starting with the mid, on the first 2 days with the mid version, I broke a lot of high scores and Kovacs with this pad because it gives me a very, very good microcontrol, as I say already. And if I compare these two pads with each other, at first I want to show the structure of these, of the HiHat Otsu. It's like, you see, it looks like it's weaving in two, and it makes these symmetrical waves. That brings me to one point. What I can say from my own feelings is that at first the vertical and horizontal feeling is a little bit different. It slides a little bit off, but I think, or I feel like the ability of microcontrolling here on the HiHat Otsu is very equal, but it's a little bit more detailed. So your microcontrol would be in a higher DPI or CPI setting would be more detailed. You would be more able to go for pixels, for direct dot pixel point aim. I would say the HiHat Otsu is the better pad, just on this side. And it feels a little bit thicker, and we all know that the edges of these Artisan pads are just insane, and it's also insane here. It's totally even. It's like there's nearly no edge. It's very good, quality is very good, but one problem I fear is the super high price. Then you can't order it nowhere. You can pre-order, then at some point you will get some and blah blah blah. But at the end, you will stick around 70 euros at some point, and here with the same pad, or with a pad which has nearly the same or close to identical behavior with an even horizontal to vertical movement, in my opinion, you save 2/3 of the price. You can get this one for 30 euro and not for 71, 75. If you buy an X-ray pad, I think you're 75 euro when you have it in Germany. Not on X-ray pad, on Max Gaming, the Artisan. And when you buy this one, you are around 30 euro. And Artisan is always doing a customer declaration which is below 20 US dollar, which basically means if you order from Artisan in China, from X-ray pad in China, you will pay no fees. But if you order an Artisan pad in Japan, you will, I think you pay DHL Express something like 25 or 23 euro just for the customs. And basically with X-ray pad, there's no custom clearance. So that's very good, to be honest, and they make it very good because basically the pad, when they produce it, is worth like 3 US dollar, and they just write these prices down. They just say it's 20. That's okay. Yeah. So one thing I also have to explain is that some of my last videos people ask about effects of temperature and humidity and stuff. At one point, first, when I read comments like, yeah, but all Artisan pads are zero affected by humidity. That's not true. It's just not true, guys. At first, if you don't own an Artisan pad, never write something like that. That's the first point. If you just read stuff like this on Reddit, how you can prove that the person who wrote this really has an Artisan pad, or is just telling something he reads somewhere from something, I have no clue. It's like Germany call it Stille Post. When you are kids, 6 years old, and you whisper here in this ohr, and the next one whispers to the next one. At the start you say, Artisan pads are, not all Artisan pads are affected by humidity, and at the end it is, Artisan pads are the best in the world, and there are no way that you can be affected by humidity. You know what I mean? It's like, it starts here with effect, and at the end it's something totally different. There are Artisan pads which get affected. The zero gets affected by humidity and by temperature. I had a zero, I have all 3 zeros, and I played them on Valorant, and I can tell you after a long session, when the humidity in a room and the temperature is rising, the Artisan, the zero gets slower. The Raiden, the new version, not the laser cutted version, which you saw in one of my reviews, which gets waves on the edges, is also affected by humidity and by temperature. So guys, if you say something like that, prove it, or just don't say it, please. So Artisan pads can be affected by humidity, not all, but some of them, okay? Basically, which brings me to a point here, why I was explaining this, that x-raypad, for example, is doing it this way now. They just say strong against sweat or dirt, humidity. You can use same quality, even sweat your hands while playing, which basically, I know that's not the greatest sentence they wrote down there, but basically they want to tell you when you have a high humidity in your room, it's warm and you're sweating a lot, that the pad is nearly not changing. It changed a little bit. Everything changes. Your PTFE glide will change, your mouse will change, your paracord will change. Everything will change when you have 40 degrees Celsius in the room and it's like 100% humidity. You will change too, because you're wet. You look like you're in a sauna, you know, guys? It will change a little bit, but it's not changing like a GSR or like an Minerva, which gets so slow that you can't even play on it. So basically, if you seek for an pad, which is a very, very good microcontroller pad, which is a hybrid pad, where you can play games like Valorant and Apex on it, where you can be sure that the pad is always performing with the same behaviors, so that you can say, okay, the pad here is when it's cold inside or outside or wherever, whatever humidity I have in my room, it's always nearly performing the same. Then this pad is a very, very good pick for you. Also, if you're not a super eager guy on total control pads, this is a good pad for you. You have a good stop point, you have a good, very, very, very good microcontrol. And for me, that's right now by far the best AQUA control pad. And right now, for me, it's the #1 pad produced by x-raypad. And even if I compare it with my Equate, with the black one, I also have the Black Galaxy Equate. I think just for microcontrolling and for not classic control pad feeling, this is the best pad. I would prefer it also above the HiHat also, because just by the size, I like the size 50 by 50, I like the price, it's $22 US, it's nothing. And I like that they do, or that they innovate their own products. That's a point or a spot for me, where I say, if a company who is transparent like x-raypad, who is always evolving their own products, who hears that people just want non-coated pads which performing very good, which are not affected by humidity, and they do something, they research and develop something for players, that's the right sign for me. That's a to-go company, and that's why I would say if you want to play a hybrid patch, which is very good microcontroller pad, buy this pad, guys. It's a very good pad. You know, lately I was not a fan of AQUA Control Plus because of the behavior of the white and of the black one. Those are not really fitted to my opinion about how this pad should be. But this pad fitted to my opinion. I played it over 7 days now. I made a lot of sick shit in Apex with this. And I think, or I felt on the Soundkönig mouse, on the HATI-S wireless, on the Dice Rail, and on the G Pro Superlight, the way it moves is the best. For example, when I use the G Pro Superlight on other pads, the size of the glide makes it a little bit too slow for me to move. But here, the microcontrollability is very stable with the stock pads, and the speed is also very good with the stock pads. And when you play the Dice Rail, I can tell you that the front glide will give you an awesome response of where you are on the pad. So you will have a very good feeling about the movement, the direction, and what you are doing right now with your Dice Rail, because the way they made the glides and the position of your fingers and how they are on the mouse, it really gives you response to your fingers and your sensoring. So if you have a very good ability to control your mouse and to feel your mouse, so if you're a good fingertip or claw tip gamer, or even a palm grip player who really feels his mouse and which aim is so good that he can really focus on what he is doing in a fight, so he has the awareness, the coolness to clutch a situation, this pad can be very, very useful, because you will be just able to make this pixel corrections to get the real good hit you need to win the situation. That's possible with this pad. And the pad is cheap, and the pad has a good size, and it's not moving on the desk. So from my point, guys, a very big yes for gaming, for nearly every game, and for nearly every person who likes hybrid pads or who wants to go into the section of hybrid pads. So guys, if I forgot something, or if you think something else, or if I said something wrong, or if you're whatever, just write it down in the comments, let me know. I will answer your questions as soon as possible. But for now, I have to say thank you for watching, and see you on the next video, guys. Bye bye.